Now, as you know, Zimbabwe has we have loads of exchange rates. There's all sorts of different rates for money market transfers, parallel market rate, official rate. I can go on and on. But let's focus on the two rates that I suppose fundamentally matter to all of us. One is the official rate, or what some would call the auction rate. Another one, of course, is the parallel market rate or black market rate, which is the street rate. And unfortunately, both rates do play an inordinate impact on our lives, particularly the parallel market rate, of which goods and services are effectively priced at in Zimbabwe. So the gap now is between the official rate, 8,500 odds, to the parallel market rate, around 15,000, works out to just over 80%. In some cases, it's reached 100%, if not higher. So what should government do about that widening gap between the official and parallel market rate? And why is it happening? What factors are contributing to the widening gap? But more importantly, what is the implication on prices of goods and services? Well, let's try and answer those questions in the following report.
In November 2023, the Zimbabwean currency was stable, and the gap between the official exchange rate and that of the black market was narrow. 3 months later, the situation is not the same.
Was last time the change was 2,000 won't that was something that I can take a pips. You can see pound to 1,000 to make 3,000.
These are the views of people on the ground. So, what could be causing the widening gap between the official exchange rate and black market rate?
My bond at this way, US. Panokuti mabhondi ari kubvanzi 7,000 to $1. Dhora racho hakukwanisi kuriwana pazuva. Unowana $3 mabhondi ndiye anenge akawanda. Saka zvinhu zvirikutiremera zvirikutikanganisa mukurarama nemhuri dzedu.
This is not the first time that the Zimbabwean dollar has faced such, and fears now where it could impact negatively on pricing.
Tikuona kuti zvinhu zvedu zviri kuafectika zingati even ukapinda mumashop stand kuti utenge zvigosara waitenga nemiliyoni enozvikapinda musoro utenga kapera bheki kakadai nemiliyoni iyoyo yeRTGs paiwa izadza mabhasiketi nematrolleys. It's different. Things have changed due to black market. Hatizivi kuti pamwe pacho kuti ingapedzwe sei kana kuti zvingaitwe sei, but panotoda great intervention.
In the face of all the challenges, what should the government do? We spoke to an economist, Nigel Chimofu, who said authorities must reduce money supply growth.
There are two things that they can do. There are temporary solutions and permanent solutions. Temporary solutions like what they've already been doing is to delay paying government suppliers. If they delay the paying of government suppliers, you see stability in an exchange. But that solution is not sustainable.
He added that if the informal economy is ignored, there is bound to be a widening gap between the black market rate and the formal rate.
After 3 months, the rate is going to grow again. But what will be the most permanent solution that the government must employ in order to create stability in the exchange rate? The first thing the government needs to control is spending. As long as the government is not controlling its spending on issues that are non-productive, we continuously see the depreciation and the weakening of our currency. And secondly, government must increase its productivity. It must increase its productivity, the export of goods and commodities to other countries.
This is Harare Central District, and in almost every corner is a money changer. When the black market rates are like this, it's business flourishing to them. But how are the people in general suffering in the process? For ZTN Prime, I'm Madeline Yohane.
And of course, on top of all the other things need to be done, obviously, we need to increase production in terms of our exports, bring more US dollars or more foreign currency into the system. But more importantly, and I think this is important, we need to start making Zimbabweans believe that the Zimbabwe dollar is actually their currency. Because at the moment you get Zimbabwe dollars, your first inclination is to immediately go and change it into United States dollars. And as I said in the first hour, You know, we're at a period of the economic cycle where there isn't a lot of currency coming into the market because this is just not an export time. We'll only probably start getting money around April when the tobacco floors open. So therefore, there is that shortage of currency. But I also want to be able to, as a citizen, go somewhere and get my little $100, $200 that I may need for just general expenses. Right now, if I have Zimbabwe dollars in my pocket as I speak to you today, and I leave the studio this morning to go out and I need to get currency, I go immediately and I hit the street and I buy it from a dealer. That cannot be a way to live. It can't be. And there's got to be something wrong with that. And I've always asked this. I've asked why allow Zimbabwean citizens to trade on the streets? Because that is exactly what the authorities are doing, because they're not giving us any other avenue to buy any currency. And there's something just wrong with that.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.